Good morning from sunny Lincolnshire. It's the 18th of June today. It'll very soon be the longest day, and I'm stood beside a really nice field of wheat. We had 4.5 inches of rain last week, and as you can see, not a single piece of wheat has been pushed down. But the forecast is more thundery rain tomorrow, and fingers crossed it'll withstand it. I've got one or two things to show you. The first thing is, if you look very closely, you can see those little tiny white flecks on the ears of the wheat. It's just starting to come into flower, and they're all obviously self-pollinating. And the other thing I wanted to show you is this. I'm just cutting around the grass headlands. I used to get paid for these headlands, a small amount for conservation. That scheme has now finished, but I've just left the headlands down. But I'm always aware that the seeds from the grass can fall onto the cultivated area, and that's not what I want. Most of them are easily controlled, but occasionally you get a pernicious one like black grass and wild oats. So I'm just going around here today, and while I was doing it, I thought I would just stop by the bank here, because this in fact is the top of the bank of the River Brant, although you can't see it at the minute because the vegetation is so lush. But this is a load of elm suckers, and they often die back, and they're looking quite healthy at the minute, but I fully expect all of these to die back in the next, well, if not this year, certainly next year. Now, the interesting thing about these are they're entirely different to the picture I put on Twitter the other day, which was ulmus hollandica, with those beautiful large leaves with the horns on top as well. These leaves are much smaller, much smaller, and I just presume this is ulmus glabra, and which is obviously a native tree. I might be wrong, and if anybody else can identify them, I'll be absolutely delighted. I'll just show you the size of the leaves. If I get one of these, and then you can see the scale next to my hand, they really are tiny in comparison with the ones we saw before. Now, the other interesting thing is the amount of creatures which love elm leaves, and I'm sure you've all heard about people wanting to try and re-establish elm trees, particularly because they're so good in the environment. This leaf has been visited by something. I've no idea what it is, and I'm just rather hoping somebody might be able to tell me what's visited that leaf and probably nested in it. Oops. And there's one or two more. There's another one there in fact as well, and obviously something's been in there, has been eating the leaves, and it looks like it's built a cocoon. But everywhere you look on these elm leaves, you can see there's been bits being eaten out of them, and it just demonstrates. There's a leaf, you see, something's been eating part of the leaf, and they're such an important part of the landscape. Look at that as well. Anyway, if anybody can give me some interesting replies on this, I'd love to hear from them. There we are. Just swing round the other side. There's a willow at the back, and the River Brant carries on round there. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.